y'all. So this is Dee with Listening on My Unguided Life, and I am currently setting up for my budget with me for August. So as a disclosure, this is not a sponsored video, though I do have my wine on deck. This is a dry rosé, and I will insert a picture of this brand. And as I'm budgeting, I'll be sipping and give my honest opinion. This is the first time I try this, so I wanted to experience it because I'm typically, rosés turn me off, but this was recommended by someone in the store, so I said, hey, what the heck, I'll go ahead and try it. Additionally, I'm not a budget expert or professional. I'm just someone who has scoured the internet, read some books, implemented some plans, and have come up with a system to work for my household. So there we have it. So before we always begin, I always give a little sip. Okay. Interesting. Okay. I always start with my calendar. This is by Ray Dunn. It's a simple calendar, 12 months. January to December. It has a calendar. I highlight them with my paydays, proposed paydays, as well as holidays. In the back, it has these note cards. It has full sheet notes as well. I will not flip because I have personal information on these sheets, but it does have a perpetual calendar in the back as well. It's a 2-page layout. It's simple, and that's why I like it. I don't need any fancy frills or thrills. So I'm just gonna do a quick flip through so you can see that I'm actually been using this. And now we're in the month of August. I did decide to go ahead and fill out some things prior just to eliminate doing a lot of editing, as well as to cut down on the video time. So I was using a little note card, and I put down all the expenses for the month, the miscellaneous expenses, the envelope system, sinking funds, things like that. So this is like my little cheat sheet that I use to fill out my forms. I'm just gonna put it to the side for right now. I went ahead and fill out my calendar. I put the information that was on the note card onto my calendar. When any miscellaneous expenses always go to the side, regardless if there is an amount or not. Like my son has a dental appointment, it should be covered. If anything happens during that visit, I may have to pay out of pocket. So I list it because it's a potential to interrupt my budget. Additionally, I have 2 paydays that, I dedicate 2 paychecks a month to my bills. So based on how my paychecks fall, usually it starts, the first paycheck is in the month before, and then the first paycheck of that following month is the second paycheck that's dedicated towards that month. So I'm always ahead when paying certain bills, and that is okay. So my first payday will be, for the August budget, is July 31st, and the second will be August 14th. I still do get paid on the 28th, but it's not going to be dedicated towards this budget. So I just place an asterisk so I am able to indicate that, hey, you got something coming in and where to put it for the following month. So I'm going to just slide this up. Now, I did have to start and stop. Somebody came in, and when someone come in the way that they did, it actually stops the video and it doesn't let me continue on. And I have it on Do Not Disturb, but mine just doesn't work. It hates me. So I always list August, or the month that I'm doing. This is my monthly budget overview sheet. Now, I did buy some stickers because I had to redo this video. I could not get the sticker off of the paper without tearing it, which I did. So I just went back to what I was doing before. It's just placing in using a Sharpie and writing the month. My first financial goals, I always start my budget with financial goals, is I want to pay off and down my 401k loan. Right now, it's at $485.68. So that is where I'm looking towards. The reason why I say pay off or down is because I'm not gazelle intent, nor do I intend on being in this stage of paying off debt and budgeting. So I approach it in a way that is healthy for me in my budget. So if I do not meet this particular goal, I know that I will meet it partially, like it's going to be paying down on something. So that is a victory to me versus nothing. Okay. Additionally, I want to save $50 from unbudgeted. So I do have a unbudgeted amount that I choose each month, and I spend it all. So I need to be more intentional with making sure I'm being honest about my budget and putting things where it's supposed to be, and then having additional money to be able to carry over. I want to start a good buffer into my checking account. So that's where we at in regards to this particular setup. Okay. Now the next thing I do is I fill out my expense tracker. I am going to try to make this as straight as possible, but I doubt if I can do it. I don't know. Even with my glasses on, things still don't look straight. I'm actually going to do it for both so I can put this away. Yes, we go. So I'll go ahead and put that away. And what I do is I'm simply just taking the same expense tracker and putting that information over here. So I usually just write the names first because it goes faster when I do it that way. Internet. And I do not have the best handwriting, but I say it's legible. I guess if I slow down, it may be better. And this probably is set up anyway. Then go to miscellaneous. It's medicine. I do have a subscription, which is really just a fee for a particular bill that I pay for the month. And then my tithe and offering, I would pay that twice in a month, so I put it twice in a month. So there we have it. So I go ahead, and these are miscellaneous because the dates can fluctuate. That does not go there. Sorry. So we know this is $160. The subscription is $99, and the medicine I'm budgeting $55. So for credit card, 2 is $155, and it's on the 27th. The card is on the 22nd, and it's $280.14. The insurance is $132.70, and it's due on the 20th. My medical debt is $60.58, and it's the 19th. The phone bill is on the 15th, and it's $142.94. The cable is $10.71. It's on the 14th. The water is the 14th, and it's $63. The equipment is $23.34, and it's the 13th. Credit card number 1 is on the 11th, and it's $35. My electric is $96, and it is due on the 10th, which is kind of late for it, but I'm guessing because how the date fell is the reason why. Life insurance is the 9th, and it is $38.54. My streaming is $13.87, and it's due on the 8th. The internet is actually due on the 6th, and it's $59.99. The Paris plan is $100, and it's due on the 4th. And then the rent is due on the 1st, and it's $715. So this is the first step that I do for my monthly budget, is fill out these expenses. So this is what we listed so far. And I always count to 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. To make sure I cover all of that before I move on. because I hate to make a mistake and have to go back. Give me another sip. Interesting. Okay. Next thing I do is I fill out the allocated spending form. I am a fan of Dave Ramsey. Therefore, I do use some of his forms, his principles, in order to reach my goal of being debt-free in budgeting. I was using the monthly budgeting form, the quick start, in this one. The other two forms just didn't meet the needs that I wanted. That's why I created my own monthly budget overview, because I like to see everything in the beginning and be able to reference it later on. But I still use the allocated spending form because it tells me where my money is going and when it's going. So I always start by putting the pay dates, 7/31 and 8/14. And 7/31 and 8/14. And 7. Oh, excuse me, I don't know why. I do have to backtrack because I did miss an important step. It's going to help me get through everything quickly. Is that I do need to identify which bills are going to be paid by which check. So I know that I get paid on the 31st, and then the next time I get paid the 14th. So the check that I receive on the 31st must cover everything from the 31st to the 13th. So I just highlight it. So we have rent, Paris plan, internet, streaming, life insurance, electric, credit card number 1, and equipment. Additionally, I know that I have miscellaneous, and so for the miscellaneous part, I know that 1 will be tithes and offering, and then the subscription will need to be taken out that particular check. So then everything else falls in the category of the second paycheck. So I just highlight it. And that helps me with filling out this form, because then I know exactly where each of these bills should go under which paycheck. Before I begin this form, I highlight the categories I currently have for sinking funds and envelope system. So it's gas and maintenance. I have groceries, restaurants, fund money, hair and cosmetics. I use other, and I do use other. And so when I fill those out, I actually categorize that as personal. This is gifts, and this is household. Okay. Additionally, I do the same thing with the highlighter. I highlight the paydays. So I can identify that easily as well. So now that I've done that and walked through that stuff, the first thing I do is fill out the expenses for my expense tracker for my monthly budget overview. So I know that it would be church. I don't fund for charity. I'm not funding any emergency fund at this time, and I'll discuss that a little bit later. So the first thing is I will be paying rent, but water is, I might as well just do both to make it easier. So no water this one, but water is here. I don't use natural gas, but electricity is here, not here. Now cable internet is split for me, so the cable is paid in the first check, and cable is paid in the second check, while the internet is paid in the first check. Trash is already included, so I don't pay separately for that. The next category is I don't do anything with clothing. It's the phone. The phone bill is due the 15th. So oh yeah, didn't tell me I done messed up. I'm like, why do those look weird? This is actually blue. And this is actually pink. I'm like, why does that look so weird? Y'all make mistakes once we come back home and we're good. And it's colorful, so yeah. So let me go back. So for the phone, it's due the second check. So it's $142.94. The subscription is due this check. I don't pay childcare. I have no pets, but I do classify my streaming as entertainment, so I place that there. Nothing falls in miscellaneous. I'm not paying to any gyms, but I will be purchasing medicine. No doctor visits in August that's scheduled. That's why. Health insurance I already paid before the money hits my account. Life insurance is the first check. And then for auto insurance is 103. I want to say 91, but I'll double check one. And the renter's insurance is 25.54. I don't have identity theft, but I do have personal property. And it's just added coverage for some expensive items I do carry. So just to make sure I have that correct, the total amount for my insurance is actually $132.70, $25.54, and $3.25. So it is $103.91. So good. So I'm not paying a card at the first check, but I am paying at the second check. Credit card 1, as I'm paying the first check, but not the second. Credit card 2, I'm paying the second. I don't have a third credit card. I don't have a student loan, but I do have the payers plan that's actually causing the student loan to be on hold. And that's in the beginning. I don't have a medical bill, but I do have a medical loan. And I'm paying that the second check. And then my equipment. And that is paid the first check. So remember, I have 19 accounts. So I just counted to make sure I have 19 listed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So we're good to go there. Then the next thing I need to do is go ahead and fill out my sinking funds and cash envelopes. Before that, another thing, it's not as dry. It does have a kind of sweetness to it that I kind of like. It's still warming up to me though. So for gas, it's 30 each paycheck. So that's 60. Maintenance is 25. So that is 50. Groceries is 180 the first check and 160 the second, so that's 340. I am doing 20 for restaurants, so that's 40. Fund money is 50 the first check, 25 the second, so that's 75. Personal is 70 the first check and 80 the second, so that's 150. Gifts, no gifts is needed. My son birthday is in August, but I already purchased his gift, so I don't foresee myself needing to purchase anything else for him. Household is 40 the first check and 60 the second, so that's 100. So that covers my expenses in my envelope system and sinking fund for the month. So now it's time to calculate everything and see, do I have enough money to be able to carry out these expenses? So I always start my income with a base of $1,600. That is the bare minimum that I'm expected to receive of the deductions that I've already allocated prior to me receiving my income or receiving my paycheck. So this is what I'm expected to be remaining. I do have some money rollover cash. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I have $14 here. So that's 16, 14. And I will be adding 210 for my savings to cover my medicine and 155 for the sinking fund. So this is going to be 1810. So now I am going to put in the work and fill out this form by simply just taking the total amount and minusing the first expense, which is my tithes and offering. So that leaves me with $14.54. There's nothing in charity, no emergency fund. The next thing I do is $7.15. So that leaves me with $7.39. Y'all get the gist of it. So I am going to just pause and complete this form and then come back to you guys. Okay, we hit a little snag in a road, but it's not a snag that I'm not used to running into, but I want to explain to you. So this form tells you that when the remaining equals 0, you're done budgeting for this pay period. I use this form to be able to guide me to determine what I need to cut, what I need to change as far as due dates. If I'm finding that I'm paying bills more heavily in the beginning than I am at the end, and or if I need to pick up a side gig. Now what I am signed up to do, Instacart, Uber Eats, and Grubhub. I haven't done Grubhub and Uber Eats before. I've done Instacart. I did pause that during the pandemic. So I'm just trying different things. So right now I have a negative balance. Doesn't mean that I will not be able to cover all my expenses. That's not going to happen. I have funds to pull from. I have ways to make this happen. So I am not worried about seeing negative. Okay, this is just telling me I need to refocus on certain things. So I do like to always check the math to make sure that it's correct. So I start adding the expenses and making my way back up. And it equals, so we're good to go. So I'm going to work the other side at this time. So again, a quick pause. Okay, so I'm done with this side, and as you can see that I remain $349.93, and that's why, again, I do not worry about if I receive negative. It's just a reality check for me. So I'm just going to check and make sure that everything is adding up, because I hate to get to the end and find that they do not, and I have to scrap and start all over. That is bonkers. And I think I made a quick calculation mistake, but we'll see in just a second. Yeah, I added right here. I did $142.95 instead of $142.95. $1,194. So I did see that, so I know it does equal. I just fat fingered that. So now that I complete this form, the next form that I complete is my monthly review form. So let me put August down here, and I just input this information, the expense, the bills, the sinking funds, the savings, and envelopes. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill this information out, and I'm going to return back to you guys. All right, so I have everything filled out at this time, except of some sinking funds. Now I do have a sinking fund for my son, but it's not being funded through my budget this month. I do have a sinking fund for vacation. It will not be funded through my budget this month. Now, how I determine the savings, extra debt, and checking buffer is I use Kiamber Vaughn income allocation strategy. She's here on YouTube. Check out her channel. This strategy aligns with what I believe, which is that you should be saving and paying debt at the same time. They're not independent of each other. So I like her strategy. She put things into words much better. I'm not going to go into great detail. When I say not go into great detail, I simply just mean that I'm not going to break it down long way. At this time, I'll just be doing a calculation for myself. So basically what happens is, first I have to know what will be my budgeted income, which is $16, $14, and $18.10. So it gives me $34.24. Okay, so that is my income. My expenses is $15.20.16 plus $782.64. So that's $23.02. So the video did cut out, so you didn't see the income allocation strategy process, but you can definitely check out her channel to be able to get the information, as well as you can always check out her website. But basically, I've already got the information plugged in. I'll just show you real quick here. 82% of my net income goes towards my variable expenses. That means that the budgeted, that it was $919.38. Of that, $815 is the budget amount, $104.38 is the buffer. After I minus the true variable expense from the net income, that left me with $201.82. I divided it in half, and I allocated $100.91 to savings into debt, and I just went ahead and plugged those numbers in. I calculated everything on my sheet to ensure that every dollar is accounted for. So that is very important to me in setting things up. So yes, so now that we have completed this sheet, we're going to go back to the monthly budget overview, and we're going to plug the numbers into this sheet as well. So for cash envelopes is $705, sinking funds is $110, savings is $191, extra debt is $191, and $104.38 is the checking buffer. Now for my income, my base is $1,600 per check. I'm going to get in 2 checks this month, so that's $3,200. The rollover I have is $14. I will be pulling $210 from my savings, so that should give me the same total from before of $34.24. Okay, then I go ahead and I calculate all my expenses of the $15.20.16 plus the $782.64. Then I go ahead and add in my cash envelopes, my sinking funds, my savings, extra debt, So it's 34.24 and 34.24. Again, every dollar is accounted for. So that's how I complete those sheets. And then I do have a spending tracker for my envelope system. It goes from 7/31 to 8/26. Okay. Then I have a transaction log for my unbudgeted that actually goes from 7/30 to 8/26. I do weekly check-ins for myself for my envelope system. You will only see mid-month ones, which is fine, and it's only because one week I may spend more than the other, so it doesn't make any sense for me to keep checking in weekly when I get paid by week. So this goes, I put in the categories, and I'm just going to do the first week. Household and personal and restaurants. And this goes from Friday, so it'll go from 7/31 to the following Thursday, which will be 8/6, and then it'll follow that same process for the weeks that follow. I do weekly check-ins in my sinking funds. My categories includes gas, car maintenance. I have Papa's fund. Oh, and I missed something. I'm so glad to see this. And I have vacation, and then I have my medical, and that is a funded account that I need to include here. But I do not budget for it. Okay, I'll show you how it looks in the end, okay, and why it balances out. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to be able to get the amounts from last month that included the sinking funds, so I know exactly what I have going into the following month. So for gas, my beginning balance is car maintenance. Something like that. Okay. No, it wasn't it. So excuse me. For gas is $22.82. Car maintenance in $214.01. Papa's in at $100. Vacation in at $100. And my medical spending account is ending with $736.08. So I fill out the weeks, and it follows the same thing. And I actually go ahead and fill these all the way out. And that's how I fill out my weekly check-in form. I will possibly be picking up Grubhub, so that's why I pull out my irregular income form. Additionally, the debt tracker moves from month to month with me, so that's why this is listed here. I have a debt payoff, so this is just telling me how much I actually pay to debt for my income. This is a debt calculator, and I use it to determine when I should be able to pay off my current creditors. And so I'm ahead of schedule and I am all for it. So this is basically how I break down my budget for the month. And I hope you enjoy. I hope this enlightened you. If you have any questions, leave them below in the comment section. As always, I want you to like and subscribe and join in the fam. Until next time, budgeting is always better with a wine. Clink, clink, clink. Peace out.